You are a multi-dimensional being. From the very source, from consciousness, from the Godhead, there was a spark of your soul. Your soul is light and sound. It is energy, and as a pure energy. And throughout the ages, the souls decided to take on a form, to take on a more, you can say, more definite form, from being the energy only, as a field of energy, as a cloud of energy, to take on a more definite form, to work and co-create things in the universe in more specific ways. So the soul itself is a God-realized being. So the soul itself is an individuated God being. It fully knows that it is God. It fully knows that it is a part of God. It is part of the source. Just like your arm fully knows that it's part of this body. It doesn't argue with the body. It knows that it is part of the body, and thus it is serving a function, being an arm. So it belongs to the whole, and it knows that fully. As the soul has taken on more and more definite forms and going all the way down to the 3D, some distortions happened, and therefore what is termed as karma has accumulated. However, let's come back to the very top view to remember that from the Godhead consciousness source itself, there came a spark of the soul. This spark of the soul has assumed a more individuated form, which is known as your mighty I Am presence. I'd like to share a picture, a screen of your mighty I Am presence, so that you can follow through and know more precisely how it looks like. So here we can see the rays, the white rays at the very center is the consciousness source self. The soul is, we could say, this yellow golden ring and beam of energy. It is actually a field, like a big field of energy. Your soul, it would, if we could visualize the size of it, it would occupy the whole sky. The whole sky would be filled with this golden light, which is your soul alone. So it's very, very big comparing to this body dimension. And then you can see right in the center, there's the individuated I Am presence, the mighty I Am presence. It is when Jesus has proclaimed that he is a son of God, Jesus the Christ, and therefore he has stepped into his full power. And that's why it's called the mighty I Am presence. So this mighty I Am presence is fully aware of its God nature. Of course, it is an ascended being. For those who know the term ascended masters, all of your I Am presences of every one of you are already ascended masters. Yes, because all I am presences are residing close to the Godhead, and therefore they have the power, the wisdom and love of perfect co-creation. The power, wisdom, and love of the perfect co-creation. And then we have the many rings, which represent the rays, the different rays of different qualities of your mighty powers. And every I am presence has already a more specific form and shape. It can be male or female as well, but the more specific qualities that they are resonating with. So some soul said, I would like to take on a male form. The other soul said, I'm going to take on a female form. And now we are going to work with more specific qualities. For example, with the quality of will and power, or with the quality of love and compassion, or with the quality of wisdom, intelligence. So there are many, many different qualities that each ray represents, and they're known as the 7 rays. So these 7 rays, just like a rainbow, arises from the light of the source. And as you know, what is at the end of the rainbow? It is a treasure. So at the end of the rainbow, it is the source. It is the white light. So from the white light, which contains in itself all the qualities, this is why when I refer to the self, I mean that the self has all the qualities within it, such as love and happiness, bliss, joy, and peace. And then as you take on a more individuated form, some of those qualities are more natural to you. So for some people, love and compassion is more natural. For other people, wisdom, intelligence, and power is more natural. And so on and so on and so on, that each individuated God form, God self, has some qualities that are more natural. So this is what is natural to you, what is natural to you. And therefore, those qualities are reflected through the 7 rays. And you can read later on more about the 7 rays. I can also attach a link where you can read in more detail. And then you can see that there's the golden light is descending further down. And there is also this beam of white light here in the center. And this is what is called a crystal cord. A crystal cord connecting you to your mighty I am presence and to the source right behind the form. So this is a crystal cord connecting all the way into this physical form, into this energy system, which is, together is with this physical form. And of course, the golden beam, the golden light is the soul itself. It's the soul energy itself. And here we see more at the bottom that there is this higher, a bit older being here at the bottom, and that is, again, either male or female. It is your higher self. Your higher self. Your higher self, many people, many traditions are referring to general term as a spirit. So, for example, when people have a near-death experience, they realize that they have a spirit, that they're not only the body. So in that case, actually, people connect to a certain form of the higher self. It can be an astral form, a mental form, but the higher self, we can say, is generally known as your spirit, so to speak. But in our terminology, we call it more precisely as the higher self. And then you can see further below this young person. So this young person is this body who is called the lower self. The lower self, which is for most people closed in a way that they have no idea about the higher self, their soul, their mighty and presence. So they're functioning as a body-mind mechanism. But when the body-mind mechanism starts awakening, it first starts to connect with the higher self. And then it reconnects with the soul and then ascends through the crystal cord into the mighty I am presence. And then, of course, it goes back even further into the source itself. And just to give you a complete picture, that this beam of light here, of the pure white light, is the light of purification, the light of clarity, the light of awareness, we could say, that which you are integrating, the transitional awareness that you are integrating so that you go back into the boundless awareness. So from the integrational awareness of purification and clarity and bringing unconsciousness into conscious awareness, then you go back into the source awareness, which is the boundless awareness. Yeah, so this is this column of light as the bigger one, and the smaller one here is the violet flame, the violet healing, transmusive, and purifying energy. It is a healing energy, a healing flame that you can invoke anytime to help you to transmute lower vibrations into the light and love, and to heal and decondition, depattern, so that you can have more and more access to your multidimensional self. So there is a very important distinction that your I am presence has all the power. It is your most perfect self. It is your Christed self, your most perfect self. Your I am presence always works only in perfection. In all perfection, love, wisdom, goodness, it doesn't know the evil, so to speak. It doesn't know the error of miscreation. The miscreation happens on a lower plane, and the I am presence is above it. So it's not subject to any miscreations or misuses of power and the evil, which means actually error. It's the error of perfection. That's what evil means. Something had happened differently that God intended, or from the perfection of creation, and thus those entities that work with miscreation, they're called the negative entities, so to speak. But they're from the higher perspective, they're simply miscreating. That's what's happening. It can happen either to ignorance or to intentional miscreation, and of course the worst thing is the intentional miscreation. Yeah, so that's what it means. However, your I am presence is always imperfection. And that is what it means, your ascended self. Your ascended self is the perfected self. It is already perfect self, which has qualities in its own that you feel connected with. So for some of you, peace is more natural, like peace, tranquility, a deeper insight, a deeper wisdom is more natural. For others of you, you're more maybe extroverted, you're more social. So, excitement, joy, and creativity is more natural in that kind of form. And for others is more of a devotional way, as a love, compassion, kindness, faith, and so on. So that's why every one of you, has more specific qualities which are natural to you, and these qualities, which are the positive qualities or higher qualities, can be enhanced. They can be enhanced. Yes, and as you connect more and more directly through those layers, as we have just discussed, you will see that many qualities become more and more natural, easy, and then you also reopen more qualities that were veiled or blocked due to certain conditionings and certain blockages. And so these are some of the things that you find very difficult. So for some people, like numbers are very difficult. For other people, like singing is very difficult. They're like, oh my God, no, I can't do any singing or music or something like that. Or for some people, drawing, which is actually using your creative visualization and intention, is difficult. So, there are different things that are difficult to you. And as you decondition the blockages, you will find that these things will become easy. Yeah, that they will become easy, and you will say, "Oh, I can do this now." It became so easy right now. So I wanted you to see the whole structure in its most important essence. There are more details to it. There are more aspects into each of the rays and to each of the forms. But today I would like you to hold this in your heart. Hold the image of your I am presence in your mind's eye and in your heart, and that is the very first step to take to reclaim your power, love, and wisdom of your higher being, so that this energy, this light, can pour down onto you and help you to realign and center back into your power, love, and wisdom, which are natural to you. So that is the most perfect alignment, centering. Even we can say grounding into your multidimensional self and recharging yourself with the perfection of that energy. Yeah, so you recenter, ground, strengthen, and recharge yourself. So this is the most important step one of energetic recentering, realignment, recharging. And from that point onward, we can work with opening higher consciousness. And it becomes easier and easier to open up into higher levels of consciousness.